Just want to say, hey guys, it's Klaus. Hey, if you've been watching my videos lately, you'll know that I have complained about the matchmaker since they updated it. And as the title of the video implies, I think the matchmaker is broken. And I've told you guys that if you play tier 8 now, you're bottom tier 8 or 9 times out of 10. And I've already told you that. If you play tier 8 preferential matchmake tanks, like the old premium tanks, like the IS-6 and the KV-5 and the tanks that get preferential matchmaking, who used to get a lot of top tier games, and the worst possible matchmaking they could get is to see a few tier 9s, tier 8s and 7s. You are constantly now in tier 8, 9 games, and let's face it, the old preferential matchmaking tanks, they should relabel them the unpreferential matchmaking tanks. The ones where you get the shittiest matchmaking now, that's what they are. And I've also told you guys that if you're foolish enough now to want to play with friends, like if you platoon with your buddies, you will be bottom tier 99.9%. Or not, no, let me rephrase that. You will not be top tier 99.9% of the time. Like, you could play 30, 40 games in a session if you're that dedicated and never be top tier. So I mean, the new meta now is play tier 7 or play tier 6, or don't, for heaven's sake, don't platoon with anyone. You don't want to, heaven forbid, have fun with anyone if you want to be top tier every now and then. But even if you follow those rules, like forget tier 8 because it's shit. Don't play your old preferential matchmaking premium tanks because they're you'll get screwed by the matchmaker. Stick to tier 7, 6 is good now, and maybe play tier 9 and 10 because you gotta avoid tier 8. Well, if, you roll out in a game now, even if you avoid all those, you end up with shit matchmaking. And I'm gonna show a game here and plead with Wargaming, someone watch this and either explain to me that I'm wrong, or let's not say fix matchmaker because it's broken, because that sounds too politically incorrect. It's too negative, right? Let's just say, hey, maybe you could improve the matchmaker a little bit to make the game more fun, because I gotta tell you, we all love this game, and it's such a complicated game with just a myriad of sophistication and stats and the different stats for each tank and the guns and the armor, and it must be a constant job for the developer. Looks at all the battle performance of all the different tank classes and types, how much damage they do, their win rates, right? Hundreds of different stats, and they they realize, well, we have to buff the mouse. Oh, we overbuffed it. Let's nerf it a little bit. Let's tweak the IS-7. They're constantly changing the tanks a little bit to balance things out and make the game more fair and more balanced. And they probably analyze hundreds of thousands of games to get more input, so they can constantly rework things so that everything's on an equal playing field, and this makes the game more fun for everyone. And then you roll out, and I'm playing my Action X here because why not? And the minute you click battle, all of those stats and all of those details and all the sophistication of the game gets thrown out the window, because what does the matchmaker do? Let's have a look here. What does the matchmaker do? Let's put it up there. Oh, this is good. This is good. There's 6 IS-7. There's a group of 30 tanks here. There's 6 IS-7s in the game, and the matchmaker thought it would be a good idea to put 5 on one team and 1 on the other. And there's 4 E100s in the game. The other's super heavy. And it would be really a good idea to put 3 on one team and 1 on the other. Yeah, that's good. So you add up the HP here. I did a quick calculation. So the enemy team has 1 extra medium tank, 2,500 extra HP to start off. One team gets 5 IS-7s and 3 E100s, and the other team gets 1 IS-7 and 1 E100. Like, it's going to be a blowout. It's just not even worth it. What's the point? You can see it right away. They've got 5 IS-7s and 3 E-100s. They just have to basically drive towards us and annihilate. This is going to be a cakewalk. And there's 30 people playing this game now, and 15 of them are saying, look at this. This is ridiculous. And they're going to, you know, just rush around and try and get as much damage as they can before the game's over. And the other 15 players, the ones on my team, are going to look around and say, hey, this is ridiculous. And, you know, it's not rocket science. It's not, you know, space age sophistication here. Like, I learned when I was 5 years old how to do matchmaking, right? When I was 5 years old and my parents, you know, bought me a box of Smarties and say, hey, share this with your cousin. And we opened the box of Smarties and there's 30 Smarties in there, right? And pour them out on the table and we got to share, and there's 6 red ones. And then after a few 10, 15 seconds of trying to think of what to do, we both, 2 5-year-olds, decided, you know, maybe it would be fair if you get 3 red ones and I get 3 red ones. Oh, look, there's 4 blue ones. You take 4 blue ones. No. That's maybe you could have 2 blue ones and I'll have 2 blue ones. That would be fair. Yeah, and 2 little 5-year-olds could figure out how to share a box of Smarties and you know, match make the box of Smarties into something resembling fairness. We didn't give a shit about the brown ones, but if there was 8 red ones, we each got 4 of them, I'll tell you that much. But I tell you, this matchmaker now in this game is so utterly, totally, helplessly clueless that the minute you hit battle, all the sophistication, all the details, all the balancing, everything that's, all the input into this game of every tank, you know, the different classes, the heavies, the TDs, all their characteristics, and the thousands of different perambulations to balance out this game. As soon as you click battle, you just throw it all out the window because you get shit like this. Like, you know, it's ridiculous, right? Like, if you in the sporting world, in the red corner, weighing 245 pounds, the reigning heavyweight super champion of the world, winner of 45 fights in a row by knockout, Mr. Muhammad Ali. And in the green corner, with the big red nose and the funny hair and his floppy red shoes, the challenger today, Krusty the Clown. Like, do you think anyone would take that shit seriously? Like, it's a joke, right? This is a joke. And probably the next game I launch, which I won't, because this is going to be enough for today. Like, what is my team going to have? 7 IS-7s and 4 mouses, and the other team can have you know, a bunch of Action X's? Like, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. Everyone can see that it's ridiculous, right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist. Like, okay, I'll tell you, I want to make this constructive. I don't want to just make this a bitch session because, you know, I actually enjoy this game most of the time. But here's an idea for you guys. If your intent is to have this kind of matchmaking so that you can frustrate and just make it pathetically, hopelessly useless most of the time playing the game, and have 15-2 or you know, 15-3 lopsided victories, so that the games last 5-6 minutes. If that's the intent, then everything's working fine as intended. But if you actually want to improve things, the next time you have a meeting, you know, and you have your engineers and all your software guys and all the sophisticated guys with the degrees that are working on all the balancing and all the programming stuff, if you have one of those meetings, here a little advice for you: like, invite 2 5-year-olds to the meeting, okay, and buy a box of Smarties and put them on the table and ask the 2 5-year-olds to share the Smarties. And, you know, when they see that there's 6 red Smarties, they will, at the age of 5, understand the concept of dividing by 2, and they will divide those 6 by 2, and they'll take 3 each. You know, and maybe your engineers can observe this and take notes and, you know, have some committee meetings and discuss it, and try and incorporate it into the matchmaker, so that when you're launching a game, if there's 6 IS-7s and 4 E-100s in the group of 30 tanks chosen, you know, maybe you could use the advanced mathematical technique of dividing by 2 to help matchmake that game, right? We're not talking about Einstein's theory of relativity or Newtonian physics, right? Law of gravity or ectoplasm or anything complicated like that. I'm just a shot in the dark here. I'm going out on a limb that maybe in this game, if there's 6 IS-7s out of these 30 tanks, maybe putting 3 on each team would have been made the match a little bit more enjoyable. Or there's 4 E100s, maybe putting 2 on each team instead of 3 on one and 1 on the other. It might have. It's just possible that that could improve the quality of play. I'm going out on a limb, I know, but maybe think about it. If maybe that would make the matches a little bit more fair and balanced, and they might actually be more exciting, and people might enjoy them more. And if they enjoy them more, they might play more and ask, promote the game to their friends, and you'd get more customers and make more money. Like, imagine that. Or or just leave it the way it is. Why not? I'll just launch another game here and win 15-2 in 3 minutes. Maybe my side will be stacked this time. And I'll tell you, I don't hear very much about this from anywhere. Like, am I the only one? Like, no one's saying, is this some sort of taboo to be talking about this stuff? I mean, you guys play the game. How many times do you launch the game? And one side has 10 heavies and you have 5, and they've got 4,000 extra HP, and like, it's over in a minute and a half. In a minute and a half, you're losing by 7 tanks. Like, come on, guys, give your heads a shake. It's not rocket science. Let's be politically correct, okay? I won't say the matchmaker is a useless piece of shit and it's broken. I won't say that. I'll say, please, please, look at your sophisticated, eloquent software, which is designed to take all the great aspects of this game and matchmake them into an exciting and balanced matchup. Please incorporate the simple concept that you could learn from 2 5-year-olds, the simple mathematical concept of dividing by 2. If you could incorporate that into the matchmaker, maybe things would be a little bit more balanced. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I've had it wrong all my life. Maybe I should have kept all 6 red Smarties, right? I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments, or maybe share this video. See if we can get some feedback, some constructive discussion, put it in the forums, start some threads, see what other people think. I don't know. Maybe I've got it all wrong, but what I do know is if the minute you hit the battle button, if it's just a joke right from the beginning, then, it's not really fun for anyone.